Happy Sunday, everyone. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I want to wish you a great week ahead of you. I brought this video outside, so I apologize in advance for any outside noises. And I wanted to touch on the topic about grief, right? So I've been coming across a lot of insightful information, personal experiences, thoughts, ideas, you name it, right, around grief. And it's coming from the people that I follow on IG that I find very inspiring, very aspiring as well. And so it got me to want to talk about grief. And before I proceed with the type of grief that I want to talk about, I want to just get it off the table that I'm not talking about the grief that someone experiences when they lose a loved one or when a relationship ends, no matter the type of relationship, because let's be real, relationships it's a general word. It's not just to signify romantic ones, right? So the type of grief that I wanted to talk about was self-grief. And with that, I wanted to bring up how we so easily dismiss that type of grief, right? We don't consider it. We don't think twice about it because it just doesn't feel right? But we need to be more self-aware, more acknowledging of our old versions, right? Because those versions of us is what got us to where we are right now, whether good or bad. It's what has made us so far. And this is now coming from a personal experience. Lately, I've been grieving a lot of versions of me. I've been going back to the past a lot, and that's something I tend to do, and I've been getting better at it, but sometimes it just hits, and instead of fighting it, I just try to come out of it with insight, right? I surrender. I don't quit, which is a difference. I just surrender because I know that when those feelings or those thoughts come back, it's because I haven't made peace with those versions of me. And I'm the first one to admit that, like, I don't like admitting when I make mistakes. I don't like knowing that things didn't go my way. I don't like knowing that I feel like I have failed in any department of my life. And so I've been grieving a lot, right? I kind of been so self-critical, so I've been self-punishing, right? And part of me has been aware of that. The other part of me has not been so aware of that, again, until recently. And so I realized that, without the old versions of me, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't even be making this video. And so I wanted to remind you guys that, those versions of you helped you become who you are today. It is because of that old version that you were able to overcome a lot of things, right? Even if we just focus on the bad, out of the bad things that happened to us, we were still able to be so, how can I say it? So open to growing, so open to healing, that we cannot just be willing to heal for the good, or be willing to look at or be willing to dig out only the good from us. We must be willing to also dig out the bad, the bad, the ugly, the whatever you want to call it, because it's that shadow that will forever be part of us, right? There's no making it disappear. It's part of us. And I don't mean it to say it in a pessimistic way or in a, guess I have to live with my shadow self for the rest of my life. No, it's just more so of not discrediting, not being dismissive of what makes us, right? Part of being a complete being is accepting our darkness and our light. And so I feel like it's just very important now more than ever, where I am coming across a lot of people that I know personally that are going through it, mentally speaking, right? They're going through it, and if they're anything like me, they don't necessarily say how they feel all the time. And again, social media, right? There is no obligation to open up about private matters that we may not be ready for. However, my movement, my platform is about getting myself out there. It's about putting myself in a place where I could be judged. I could be perceived the wrong way. I could be seen differently. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I know at the end of the day, my true support system is gonna be there with me every step of the way, right? And I do this because it took me a long time to get to a place where I'm just beginning to accept myself. And I don't want, and I would like to prevent, actually not want, I would like to prevent someone who may be reaching that point of kind of self-destruction to not let it happen, right? Or to do what the best they can to minimize the self-destruction, because I know firsthand what self-destruction means, right? I know how impactful it can be when we become so self-critical, where we punish ourselves, where we blame ourselves. But for what? For what, when everyone else is moving on with their life? So the only ones that end up suffering the consequences of our self-punishment is us. That's why the word self is in front of these words, because it's about ourselves. And as much as we look for that one person to get us, to understand us, it's basically impossible for another individual to know exactly 100% know how you're feeling, how you're thinking. And even with experts, right? You can go to an expert, but they're only coming from a place of either their own personal experiences or from their own academic professional experience. They don't know your true essence because they don't live inside of you. They don't live inside your mind. And so this is why it's important that when we talk about self-grief, that we do it in a self-compassionate way, in an empathetic way that we would so effortlessly do to our loved ones, right? And yeah, I hope this message made sense to you. I hope this brought some insight to you. And I will be talking more about this matter down the road. I like creating videos that come in the moment. I don't like planning for videos, if that makes sense. So before I end this video, I wanted to share a quote that I haven't written on it, anything on it yet. I'm gonna be doing my journaling later tonight. I typically do it in the mornings, but once I opened it today, coming just to see, it just clicked. I was like, wow, I'm talking about this subject. This quote perfectly resonates it. So here we go. Don't make the mistake of believing that what you need lies with another or is yet to appear. You don't need an army of resources to move ahead. However, when you do move, you may find resources suddenly appear. You are more prepared than you realize. You have everything you need to take the next step in your life. From that step, all else will flow. Have a beautiful day. Love you so much.